Well, well, well. Wheel of Time, Season 3, sneak peek. Oh, I'm going to give a quick breakdown. I've written some notes. I've just watched and screamed and cried and all kinds of things. And I'm going to try and make it kind of um, succinct and make sense. But I could just get a little bit sort of, I don't know. But hey, how exciting is it? Let's have a look at what we saw. Please be warned, there are full book spoilers in this breakdown, so if you don't want to be spoiled, this might not be for you. Absolutely beautiful opening scene, the way we come sort of across the water with a drone looking over the Tarvalon set. It's raining, it's morning, Swan's standing on the veranda, and I love the way Swan's looking down into the city, and at the same time Lorraine is down in the city and she is looking up at the White Tower, and it's like they're looking at each other even though there's a huge distance between them. Lyanna comes out and tells Swan that it's time, and so we already had a pretty good idea what it was time for, but it's beautiful build up of the tension. I thought it was interesting that Lorraine was a little bit snippy at land still, so it looks like they're still getting their stuff together. And here's the first place where I was wrong. I've been saying all along that little clip is Age of Legends. Nope, it's not. Lauren was right. At first, probably like many of us, I thought that these three red sisters were Black Arja, as they tell Leandrin that she's been called before the hall and that they will support her, but it turns out that they're not, and it was booked fact accurate that we only need 11 sitters, and this is a really good setup for what's going to happen when we get to the coup.
I have a few matters I'd like to raise before the hall myself.
I love how this has been done, because we are doing a scene here that was not exactly in the books, and yet it really does come very much from the books. So they've done a great job of putting this at the beginning, really getting non-book readers in, giving book readers something that didn't quite happen that way in the books, and also setting up and foreshadowing the coup that's to come later in the season.
Where are we going? And why?
Always plan for the worst, my sisters. That way all your surprises will be pleasant ones.
Oh my God, this is the favourite part of the whole thing for me. I mean, the Black Sister shredding scene, fantastic. But what we find out in this section just is mind-blowing, and my little brain is running off in so many directions.
What if the others are working with Leandrin? Let us stand with you.
You know, men can't enter the hall without just cause.
They're packing so much non-reader exposition into this, and it took me a couple of watches for me to realise that, hey, Alana has been taken into Swan's confidence because she knows what's about to happen with Leandrin being called, and so do her warders.
Mother has deemed this a sitting sealed to the hall and to the Red Aja.
What a bold move that was by Swan to seal this meeting off from the Red Aja. So here's actually the first instance of true splitting in the tower between the different Ajas. And how bold is Leandrin to wear a mix of red and black so openly going into the hall? And it's book accurate that we only need 11 sitters for a quorum. And this again is going to set up for the coup to take place a little bit later.
Attend you all. She comes. The Watcher of the Seals, the Flame of Tarvalon, the Amelin Seat.
Total classic.
Leandrin Sedai, do you know why I have called you here today?
Because you wish to silence me.
So it's obvious that Leandrin was totally prepared for this to happen. I think that the Black Arja were actually already planning the coup, and maybe this brought their actions forwards, even though this isn't the coup. But she was obviously prepared, and we'll see more of that again in a little bit.
I accuse you, Mother, of breaking Tower custom and law.
And she's not wrong, because you might remember that in the Love Shack back in season 1, Swan says to Moraine, they must never suspect we're working together. If another sister finds out what we're doing, we'll be stilled. So this is kind of like Swan's greatest nightmare coming true, and she handles it so seemingly calmly.
Then continue, daughter, and I will answer. An Aes Sedai cannot lie.
And so Leandrin describes what went on in Kyrian. Some people knew a bit of it, some all of it, some none of it.
And a young man who could channel, Rand al-Thor, who proclaimed himself Dragon Reborn in Falm. Mother met him. The man this tower is duty-bound to cage and control. Mother willingly let him escape.
And there's the lie. Swan didn't willingly let him escape. That was Lanfear, and she knocked Swan out. At the time that she did that, Swan had Rand shielded and was going to bring him back.
If you had proof that these accusations were true, then the Hall would have no choice but to restrict my authority, decree a penance, or even depose me. But I know what most women in this Hall do not. That you, Liandrin Garale, can break the 3 oaths.
Oh, yes, she can. And do you have proof? You bet your bottom Tarvalon mark she's got proof.
You have sworn yourself to the Shadow. You are a dark friend.
The Hall calls Nynaeve Elmira to the floor, whom Liandrin kidnapped and sold to the Shanchal.
And then we're waiting for Nynaeve to tell her story, give that proof. And of course she doesn't have to say a thing, because Liandrin just completely steps in and goes berserk mode.
Well, I tried.
Now, exactly what does Liandrin mean when she says, well, I tried? Because she says it, she looks purposefully at Nynaeve. Does she mean she tried to bring her over to the Black Arja? Does she mean she tried to give her a break and let her go, and now she's come to testify against her? Does she mean something else? Please do put your thoughts in the comments below.
You dare use the power against your sisters in this hall?
And so begins the scene that will be forever known within the fandom as the shredding. I don't think I've got time in this quick breakdown to go over all of the different moves and weaves and different ways everything was done. What I do want to just make note of is that the one black sister besides Leandrin we know is in here is Joya. I am going to see if I can work out who some of the others are when I've got a bit more time. And I love how reminiscent this scene is of Leandrin gentling Logain. Some more great exposition. You will be tried, stilled. You will tell us who all the other Black Arja sisters are, and then you'll be put to death.
Join me!
And then Nynaeve tries to channel, and of course she's still blocked, and she wouldn't lose her block until book 7, so this is all fair. And now we're out in the hallway. I noticed in the trailer that when the big boom happens, there were already dead bodies in the hallway, and so of course this is how it's going to happen. The warders think that those red sisters are black, but of course they have actually come to help. And now my favourite part, which is Varen, Adelaus and Naomi coming in through this hallway to find the 13th depository. Varen knew where it is. We can only presume that Naomi actually kind of helped set up a situation that Varen would show her where it was, because we see a bit later in this section that Naomi was sent to collect those things. Okay, back to the hallway. And this is completely book accurate. We have Jane and Chesmol fucking Emery. Oh yes, we were just waiting to see when we would get her, and it couldn't have been the yellow that was killed by Valda back in season 1. These were two of the Black Arger who left with Leandrin in the books. And Maxim obviously knows these two and actually trusted them, thinking that the Reds were going to be blacks and wasn't letting them in, but instead the two that he trusted turned out to be blacks. So the lesson here is you never know who will be Black Arger. And back over to Varen, because this is one I want to do a little bit of breaking down on. We see some ter'angreal. And every one of the ter'angreal, except this first one, are ter'angreal that Leandrin's group stole when they left the tower in the books. There was a set of metal gauntlets in the book section, but they had fire drops all around the edges, and what we know is that this is most likely to be what we lovingly call the sad bracelets, or the male Adam. And it makes more sense for us to introduce the male Adam at this point anyway.
No matter who or what comes for them.
Oh, what a line. No matter who or what comes for them, and we see the redstone doorway. I've brightened this image up, and look, I tell you, I was just about screaming when I got a close look at this, because we've got at the top left of the doorway the snakes, at the top right of the doorway the foxes. No, it doesn't look exactly like it's described in the book, but nobody's ever been able to agree on what it would have looked like in the book. The main thing is Finn confirmed. Oh yes, however we're going to get them remains to be seen, but we do get the Finn. Of course we fucking do! The clear crystal rod, which is another one in the books that they took with them. Next we see the dice ter'angreal, which was a set that the Black Arger sisters took with them. And is that the balefire rod that Adelaus is heading towards? I've heard some theories that Leandrin's holding that in her hand when she bursts the doors open to go into the Panasha's palace. That's Zul, I think. And then the kicker.
Finally, I don't have to listen to your bullshit anymore.
Ha! Revealed. Finally we know who was the little person at the Dark Friend Social. Does that mean more of these are going to be revealed over the seasons? Now watch carefully, because Varen does throw a little weave up that I think removes some of what got thrown at her, because she does still pass out, but Adelaus, nothing. She cops the full force of what is that weave. Is that a compulsion, or did that just drill a fucking hole through her brain? And we start pilfering some more ter'angreal. So this, I presume, is the iron disc that is taken by the Black Arger in the books, and the alabaster figure, also taken by the Black Arger in the books. There were more taken, but they're not going to be able to use that many during the show, and maybe we'll find out of some others that they take, like maybe the hedgehogs and one of the rings or something. We'll have to waffo. The shredding's still going on. We see 2 instances of Yellow Sisters healing, which is some more important exposition. And I will break this fight down more later, but oh my god, let's just have a little look. Eat your heart out, Karen. We get to see sisters linking again, and the big bada boom. Waters go flying, which I guess is Ivan and Maxim. And now Moraine is seeing that big boom happening.
Quick, get to the docks.
We got to flee.
Find them! Split up! We cannot let them leave this city.
And I still just bawl every time I see this scene. Okay, full book spoilers. We know that Adelaus got paired with Varen because Varen was going to absorb the role of both Varen and Vandene. I think this is a brilliant setup for exactly this, and I can't wait to see where Varen goes next and how this plays out. And now it's obvious that Naomi was supposed to get the male Adam, the sad bracelets, and she's meeting up with the rest. The others have split up and they're moving through the streets of Tarvalon looking for the Black Sisters, and Alana is the first to find them. Oh, the next bit is going to be brutal, but that is the end of the Cold Open. Wow. What did you think? Did you enjoy it as much as I did? Did I miss anything like really big and important besides a breakdown of the actual fight? I just cannot wait for the new season of The Wheel of Time. Thanks, Prime Video. Oh, time. Well. Smash to black.